in a bit.
Okay, so we're live on YouTube.
We will be live in a bit. It's preparing, I think.
It says live on YouTube at my end.
Oh, it does? Oh, we're already here. All right. Hello, everyone. This is Ramla Qureshi from Women Engineers Pakistan. I am really sorry about the delay. Technology, we are all engineers and technologists, but technology still seems to fail us. Anyway, let's proceed. Once again, a very warm welcome to this webinar from Women Engineers Pakistan in collaboration with Stimulus. We have the amazing Hira Wajahat today with us. She is the national lead for ClimateLaunchpad in Pakistan, but she's also on the forefront with one of our very valuable partners, Women in Energy Pakistan. And we know her and we love her and we respect everything that she's doing for Pakistan, not just with us, but with a lot of very competent people across the board. Hira is an MBA from LUMS, and she brings with her a very vibrant experience of working cross boundaries with a lot of industries. She has worked with FMCGs, she's worked with pharma, healthcare, education, nonprofits, and NGOs, etc. She's helped the corporate sector, she's helped governments, education, the development sector, an absolute rock star. We have her here today to introduce Climate Launchpad to us. Now, Climate Launchpad, as I know, is one of the largest green business ideas competition. We all know that we stand at the brink of climate change, where change is necessary, but change is also, a fast change is necessary. Hira, over to you. Please explain, please introduce yourself a little bit more. I don't think I did a good job at that, but also let us know about what exactly is Climate Launchpad.
Thank you so much, Ramla. As far as I'm concerned, I think you've done a fantastic job of introducing me, and really, really grateful for the kind words. And although our association has been short, but it's been quite wonderful so far, and I love working with women engineers. Women in energy and women in energy is a passion. So, we're all here. Now, Climate Launchpad is something really interesting. It is, yes, a global program which focuses on finding solutions for climate change through startups. And why is it so important to have here in Pakistan is something that I'd be sharing with you. But before moving forward, I'd also like to welcome our friend from PFAN, Saima Kadir, who is also with us. And I hope once I'm done sharing what I have about Climate Launchpad, Saima could join in to share a bit about PFAN and what it is that she does. So moving forward, maybe if you could just scroll the slides. Why is climate change so important for us? And in the context of Pakistan, we know we keep hearing about climate change, but prior to climate change, if you see the kind of trajectory from 2005, when we first heard about the earthquake that happened, after 2005, we had massive floods in 2010, and subsequently across the years, we've had our fair share of problems due to natural disasters, calamities, floods. We do have a massive problem of a rapidly increasing urban population, and it is not just because of population management, not enough good practice in population management, but a large chunk of it is also because of these natural calamities that have occurred over the years. We have a large chunk of population moving from rural areas into urban areas in the seek of a better livelihood, in the search of better opportunities, because everything they've had has been destroyed. And the reason for these natural calamities is essentially what we now understand as climate change and climate risk. And in fact, Pakistan is also ranked number 7 officially at the risk of climate change, at the risk of disasters due to climate change by German Watch, which is a European NGO. And from what I've read in January and February, I think we're now at number 5. So challenge being that we are a country that's at risk, and Ramla, you could probably move to the next slide, I think. So we are at the next slide, please. So we are already at severe risk, and just a small visual to indicate that if we look at the countries in the top 10 countries who are at risk of climate change, Pakistan is right there in the dark red. So yeah, and since I've already spoken a bit about, you can probably keep moving forward, Ramla. Since I've already spoken a bit about the impacts, the population changes, we've experienced floods, pollution is a challenge. So what do we really do about this? Where do we go from here? Moving on, if we consider what needs to be done in Pakistan to climate change, of course, we need access to high quality information. This could be in the form of, let's say, some trigger signals, for example, for tsunami warnings that you put up on the coast. And in case there is, any calamity that's supposed to happen, you already get information. Also, of course, this is an improved technology. So, how we respond to any such challenge that happens through technology. Of course, practicing energy efficiency. Now, this is something that can be done at large scale within industries, but also individually. How do we manage our own daily lifestyle? What are we really doing about switching on lights, switching off lights as we enter and exit rooms? Reducing vulnerability to livelihoods. Now, again, as I mentioned briefly, when disaster strikes, somebody's livelihood is completely destroyed. Somebody's farmland is destroyed. Somebody's home is destroyed. Jobs are, lost. So, again, climate change, to cope with this, we need to have some sort of mechanisms that can reduce vulnerability to livelihoods. And then, of course, when we are talking about crops, Pakistan is primarily an agrarian economy. And in order to ensure that, we have a sustainable farm crop production, we need to move to new modern practices for farming. Practices that reduce water consumption, practices that give us more resilient seeds, that help us identify which are the target areas where we need to maybe plow a certain type of seed, so that we know that the crop won't be damaged due to any sort of change in weather or weather pattern or strong winds or river flowings or etc. And connecting with this, of course, we have biodiversity and forest management and conservation. So these are all aspects that we need to look at to cope with climate change in the context of Pakistan. And just another click, please. And of course, engaging people in the local communities. You see, any of these things that I would like to do, if my local innovation is not there, if my local communities are not engaged, there is not really going to be any positive outcome of that. And putting all of this together, if this is, broadly speaking, broad chunks, what Pakistan needs from us to cope with climate change, then what is it that we have to do? And as stimulus, what we did was we were on the lookout for programs or projects that we could put together, we could bring to Pakistan. And one of these programs that is aimed at helping change or bring about this climate revolution or fix climate change slowly, but yes, in terms of the targets that have been set globally, is ClimateLaunchpad. And ClimateLaunchpad is, of course, can you just click on the slide, please? I think there's a slide transition. Yeah, so we're trying to address the Sustainable Development Goals. The ones highlighted, of course, for us are bringing the stakeholders together, water, energy, climate action, bringing businesses together. And we are setting up to define the innovations, the different inventions that are required from Pakistan that will help bring about this. So currently, if you're all following climate news, as part of the COP, which just took place in Poland, it was decided that we need to make sure that the temperature difference should not exceed 1.5 degrees, which is the targets that we've set for the next years. So the whole objective of this Climate Launchpad challenge, we can call it a challenge because it is a competition. The whole objective of this challenge is to, make space, create a space for those ideas, for those inventions, and in the context of Pakistan, to solve the problems that we need to address, that we need to, that we've already identified, in the context of climate change, and to bring those solutions that we can use locally, and then of course take them globally as well, because they're good enough for the rest of the world to use. So the most important aspect of bringing this program to Pakistan is to take Pakistan into the global sphere as well, because we don't have any shortage of ideas. It's just about bringing them all on one platform. So this is why we've chosen to bring a climate launchpad here, and I think we can maybe show the video which just prescribes briefly what climate launchpad is, because so far we've not had any edition in Pakistan. We'll be having the first edition in Pakistan in 2019. So, Ramla, maybe you can play the video. So while Ramla is playing the video, I think, yeah, we're back. So I think you'd probably have to unplug your headphone because you'll have to unmute yourself, Ramla. Yeah, now you can play it.
There we go.
So thank you, Ramla, for sharing that. It's just a small video that's capturing what Climate Launchpad is and why is it so important. And so if you focused a little bit on what are the different trainers and the project leads have been talking about, specifically, they pointed out that Climate Launchpad is needs to have a commercial business idea. So the idea that you'll be sharing on Climate Launchpad needs to be commercial, and it needs to have a customer focus and plus as well acting on climate change. What are we hoping to achieve over here in the context of Pakistan really with this is that we create that knowledge network, we create the platform, we get those ideas, we help them scale up, we take them global, which is something that, our aim is for only because it's about Pakistan. And it's time that, we, with all our innovativeness, with the kind of caliber that we have, we need to show where we are standing in the world. So we're just moving on. I think you can just go through this. Connecting and developing people is one important aspect of this that we'd like to really focus on. And then leveraging the power of technology. Technology is here. Technology is here to stay. We just need to figure out how we're making maximum and best use of it. So since we've already signed off, we've brought Climate Launchpad here. We're basically two organizations, Stimulus, that's us in Pakistan, and EIT Climate Kick, which is a European knowledge network that we've signed off with. And we are working together to bring Climate Launchpad to Pakistan for the first time in 2019. Hopefully the final, which is going to happen on August 31st, will be in Karachi. And just moving forward, in the next slide, the activity, the focus areas for the activity, to share very briefly, agriculture, air, environment, clean energy. These are sectors that have been focused on in the past, and these are sectors that are extremely important for Pakistan as well. So, if anyone has an idea, and again, so right now, Climate Launchpad is a infancy stage program where we're focusing on ideas that are in a 0 to 2 year trajectory. So even if you haven't started working on your idea yet, but you do have an idea and you've thought a little bit about what the commercial aspect for it could be, you are more than welcome to join in and make an application to the program and share your idea with us. And now I'd just like to share briefly about how the process is working. If you could just move forward. Again, like I said, the targets for Pakistan are quite huge. We do intend to reach out to 195 universities, which we are in process of. We're reaching out to the national incubation centers, to other incubation centers that are also part of universities, and making sure that we reach out through personal and social media communication. And once we've got the word across, what we're expecting to do is create the Pakistan Clean Tech community that starts off with Climate Launchpad and then moves on further to a clean tech incubator that we would like to support, and of course have business to business matchmaking for ideas, for inventions that right now maybe in the R&D phase, maybe in the universities, maybe somebody's thinking about it somewhere, but we'd like to really scale them up, bring them out in the limelight, make sure they develop, scale them up, take them to our global network. And while the Climate Launchpad Pakistan is a competition, and only 2 teams will be selected eventually from Pakistan to represent the country and compete globally. That does not mean that the rest of the teams will not get access to the knowledge network. So one core focus for us is to bring the knowledge networks, bring the gap that we feel that perhaps still to this date, in some subjects we don't have the capacity, the human capacity, but that knowledge can be bridged by bringing in the relevant people from different countries, so that they can help us out in the context of Pakistan, not in their own context, but with what we need and when we need. So that's what our target is. The process of this is pretty simple. It's a 3-step process. We have the applications which are open at the moment, which will go on till mid of April. And once the applications are received, we will be shortlisting teams who will attend a 2-day boot camp, which will happen on May 4th and 5th. The number of teams that will participate in the boot camp, my minimum target is 10. There are more than 10 teams that qualify. We are actually open to having as many teams participate. And yes, this presentation says 7 teams, but we would like to take that up to 10. 7 is too small. I already have more than 7 applications that are, that I feel that should be there. So following the boot camp, we'll be working with the teams, in 6-week coaching sessions. So it's actually 6 sessions per team. And August 31st, we'll have our national finals, which will be a clean tech conference plus a pitch competition. The audience size should be more than 500 people. And we hope that we can get together to, really root for these startups, really cheer all of them on so that they give their best performance, they share the best ideas, and, we get some really good ideas, at least in the top two or three, to compete in the global competition, which will be held somewhere in Europe. Not sure where, but it would probably be somewhere in November, which of course we'll find out more about when we come closer to the national finals. So this is the action plan for Pakistan. And moving forward, we'd like to really thank some of our amazing sponsors who were actually enabling us in making this program a reality. And some of them are here. And of course, one of our favorites, the women engineers who are hosting us today and, really helping us get the word across. So thank you so much for that. And I'm just sharing my contact details on the next slide. So if there's anybody who needs to really, get in touch or find out more about Climate Launchpad, we're active on Facebook. Our website is, we're also there on the global website. My email address is accessible, so, I'm happy to respond to any queries that come my way. So that's briefly what I wanted to share about Climate Launchpad, the process, the applications, and why it's really critical for us to take action, because the way we see it, demanding action is just one aspect of it. But at the end of the day, it is our individual responsibility. Where do we take that responsibility? How do we go about making the difference that we really desire to make? It is by taking, individual action. So that's pretty much from my end. I just want to check if Saima's still with us, if she's around.
I don't think so. I don't think Simon was able to join in.
Okay, so
would you like to carry forward with?
Yes. So just very briefly, Simon had joined in to talk about PFAN, which is it's a financing network. It's a financing body that's been set up by UNIDO and by I think it's called REAP, which is a renewable energy finance access program, and for potential startups that do go through Climate Launchpad. So I'm probably not going to be able to go through slides completely, but yes, for the benefit of the audience, it's the Private Financing Advisory Network, and they work with startups who've actually gone beyond the 0 to 2 year trajectory. And they have an open call for proposals every year, where they provide coaching, and they provide some investments as well to potential, how do you say, so to potentially promising startups that have already established themselves, and they're in level 2. So let's say they're in probably or have exceeded the incubation phase as well. So any startup that does complete the 0 to 2 years, 3 years timeline, they'd be able to get support from PFAN, which of course is funded by some global bodies. So USAID is there, the Swiss Aid is there, UNIDO is there, and of course REAP is there. So I think that's like a fantastic possibility for some of our more promising startups that they could explore. And Saima is of course representing PFAN over here. I think what we can do is, for the benefit of others, probably share Saima's contact details so they can get in touch with Saima in terms of how PFAN works and how she can help. So as to just give an example of some of the startups that are at the moment being coached by PFAN, there is Jan Pakistan, which is doing fantastic work in rural communities with clean cook stoves. So they have, they're offering some solar cook stoves and some biofuel cook stoves for rural areas. And their product is fantastic, and they're doing really well with this coaching and support that they're getting from PFAN. So of course, there's this opportunity for everybody else who can come up with a fantastic product or idea to work with. And of course, with Saima's contact details. And I think that's it for what could come potentially after Climate Launchpad. So, and hand in hand, there are other opportunities as well that we're working on, and we'd like to share with, people who are applying to Climate Launchpad, people who go through the program with us. However, before we close, I suppose I'd just like to show a small video in terms of what participants can really look forward to, how the global finals went last year in 2018, and what the experience was like. And of course, we're not there live, but even through the video, we can see how much excitement there was, in the arena. What were the things that were happening? The type of potential networking that could happen in terms of investors, in terms of knowledge experts, in terms of other countries. So that's a whole lot of opportunity for anybody who does make it out of Pakistan to go to the final. So yeah, you can play that, Ramla.
Sure. Can you hear me? Can you hear the video?
Perfect. It's perfect.
Climate Launchpad is about solving climate change one startup at a time.
This is a really unique thing we have here.
It's time for innovation to step in, to start addressing really whole-scale systems change in our cities, in the way we're using land, in the way we produce materials, in the way we think about ourselves and the planet.
Entrepreneurs love to go fast, and fighting climate change is all about speed.
They make perfect partners for cities, for corporates, for public authorities, for investors.
It's about 40% of the teams that apply are female founders.
This is a great opportunity if you love to help people, world.
Last year we had 35 countries, this year 44. This generation seems to combine this wish for impact. I want to do something useful while I'm on the planet. I want to have impact.
We've learned now how it is to pitch in a really international environment with a lot of competitors.
It's a great opportunity for us to show our product and represent our country.
We are really excited to see all these people from around the world there.
We are very happy that we can represent Malaysia.
Those 2-day bootcamp back in August was very, very helpful to know our customer even better.
We're thinking global and we're acting local. And that's what you guys are doing here as Climate Launchpad and Ideas. Don't just think about your own region, your own town, your own country.
You have these amazing local solutions that might not work for every single part of the world, but they will make a big impact in their country.
We've now have supported about 3,000 teams. Of those, some of them will become really big companies.
We really start to look at which ideas might work together to have the greatest potential for change.
A lot of countries, so many smart ideas. It's amazing.
In third place, Prover.
Such a great feeling. This is really proud.
We got approached by several investors.
It's a really rewarding moment.
Second place, JSP.
The national lead trained us really well with all this.
It's a pleasure being here, and this atmosphere, this environment.
It's like a confirmation for us.
It's perfect, thank you.
First prize, Eco 2 blocks.
It's fantastic to be hosting this event. Innovation is vital to tackling climate change.
I've seen so many great ideas.
It's been an incredible experience.
I was fascinated by how much dedication, how much innovation you see here.
Let's conquer the world. Let's save the world.
Even if you didn't win, the real win is if you find paying customers. That's what this in the end is about. That's how you build a business.
So thank you, Ramla. That was it from our end. And
well, that was
really
absolutely amazing. I do have a couple of questions. Firstly, I do apologize for the technical glitches that we went through in the start of the webinar. We will be able to share details eventually for PFN as well as Climate Launchpad. I would like to know, are you looking for startups are you looking for startups in the ideation stage? Just to revisit a little bit of things that you already explained. Are these startups who are in the ideation stage, or are those who already have developed a prototype?
Both are welcome. The condition being that you're in between 0 to 2 years. So you've not really set up a company, and the investment that you've already received shouldn't exceed like 2 million rupees.
I see. With my experience in launchpads, is this going to be, do the participants get any sort of remuneration, as in do they get a stipend of sorts?
No. There's no financial transaction involved, neither from the participants' end nor that anything that we'd be giving them. What we are committing is that the top 2 teams from the Pakistan final get to go to the global finals, wherever they are in the world. And for that, of course, we'll be supporting them completely through their boarding, lodging. So in that context, that would be the prize or reward from our side as Climate Launchpad Pakistan. We are looking forward to have at our Climate Cleantech Conference potential investors and some of our sponsors also already who are looking for startups to put in money if they find startups that opportunity is always there. And of course, if you compete globally and you're able to win, there is a commitment from the global team. So the top 10 startups from Climate Launchpad 2019, the global competition, incubation in Europe, IIT incubation, and the top 3 also get some seed and be pitching to international investors.
So Hira, we can't hear you. Do you mind repeating that? Because I think there was some internet problem there.
Okay, so I'm not sure you lost me. But, hello.
Hi. Yeah, we can hear you, but your voice
Ramla,
is a little bit scratchy.
I think there's some.
Hira, are you there?
Hi. Okay, where did you lose me?
Right after the explanation started.
Okay, so I was just saying that there's no financial exchange. There's nothing that we're going to be offering in cash in the first stage up to the pitch. So how this works is that we're expecting people to share their ideas. We select the ideas, we work with them. So what you get from us is essentially the training and coaching. By the end of 6 weeks, between May to July, you will be pitch ready, which means you will be pitch ready for Climate Launchpad Pakistan final, and you will be pitch ready for any other competition or any other similar pitch that you would like to participate in. So that's the first thing. When you pitch in the Pakistan final, of course, it's the opportunity to network and interact with local sponsors or local investors who are looking to put money into promising startups. We also already have a couple of, let's say, corporate sponsors on board who have committed that if they find startups, promising startups in a particular theme, for example, energy or environment or agriculture, they will, put in some money to support those startups, and they're looking forward to help them grow. So that's one thing that is probably going to come out of this as well. The top 3 teams go to compete globally. Yes, again in the global competition, the top 10 teams that come out globally will be given incubation space at the Climate Kick, the European incubation center that they have. So you'll be living and working out of Europe. The top 3 teams also receive some seed investments. However, all teams that pitch at the global competition have the opportunity to showcase to global investors from across the world. So there is that opportunity throughout this. And what happens to the top 10 teams or however many startups that we work with locally? What we want to do with them is give them the opportunity to provide them with some incubation space, to provide them with incubation support through other sponsors who are going to be coming on board as for a clean tech incubation support that they've promised, that they have committed to us to work with the most promising startups who would like to be involved on this and help them develop and scale their product. So yes, at the end of the day, what we can honestly commit is that you would have your product, your service with your name, because Stimulus or Climate Launchpad does not take any intellectual property rights. So the product and the idea remains yours. You work on it as you like. What we do for you is just become the kind of a bridge that connects you to a whole lot of knowledge, information, and a whole lot of pool of resources that can add value to what you're doing. So that's really what we are offering you, and committing to.
I see. No, that sounds absolutely wonderful. One question that I do have is about, what about the mentors? Who are the people who are coaching?
So the mentors would be experts who are local. So there will be some experts who will be technical people who can help you more with your specific product or technology that you're working on. And then we will also have business coaches and mentors who can help you develop your pitch and give you the management soft skills or tools that are necessary. Having said that, it may be possible that you're working on an idea or a product that we may not be able to find a local mentor for because maybe there's nobody relevant in that technology field, for example, in Pakistan. In case we come into that situation, we do have a pool of resources that are global resources from other countries that have been working in Europe extensively, who have offered to support and commit to helping us.
Hira, we can't hear you.
Out training. Hi, yeah. So the 2-day training that we're having at the boot camp, which is on May 4th and 5th, that training will be led by European trainers. So our expert trainers would be flying in from the Netherlands, and they'll be working with us, working with our startups to help them start off the business plan development, starting to convert those ideas into actually actionable, viable plans.
No, that sounds actually good. Because not only are you actually contributing towards something that needs our urgent, but also you are getting trained internationally. So this really is a launchpad that's going to boost you globally, right?
Yes, that's the idea.
Thank you so much, Hira, for taking time out. I will be taking screenshots of your contact details and Saima's as well, because we have these two amazing women who are broadcasting help for budding entrepreneurs across Pakistan. And I do think we need to share as much as we can that these people exist, they're here to help us, and we can really seek help when the time comes, for sure.
Thank you so much, Ramla. Thank you so much for helping us, with this, despite all the technical challenges, really making this work for us. So really grateful to you for that, and Women Engineers Pakistan.
Absolutely, absolutely. I always say that collaboration is the new competition, and I can see that happening because we grow when we uphold each other. So we grow together. Thank you so much, Ram. Is there any ending remarks you'd like to give to our audiences?
No, I'm really excited about anybody who's viewing this right now, and please feel free to get in touch. I'm looking forward to the applications, and I'm really hoping that we can prove a point with Pakistan. We've had a fantastic kickoff meeting in the Netherlands, and everybody was really excited that we were there. So I'm really looking forward to everybody else, with supporting us with their ideas. That's all we want. Just support us with your ideas, and we'll support you in really making them work.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Hira, for your time once again. To the audiences in Pakistan and across the world as well, we will be sharing details eventually as we move forward from the webinar. But please feel free to send in your questions, email them to me or to Hira or to Saima, whoever you want to ask any queries. We are here and we commit to help you. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ramla. Bye-bye, everyone. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.